If you want a big flagship executive luxury sedan, but you still want to go fast, what do? You get something like this, the Audi S8. Mercedes has the S63 AMG, the S65 AMG, and Audi has the S8, the sportier performance version of the flagship A8. Now, what do these big, expensive German luxury cars do better than pretty much anything else out there? That's depreciate. And oh boy, do they depreciate hard. When this was new, it was over $100,000. Now, here's the thing. It's a 2015 S8, so it's over a decade old at this point. And you can buy an example like this for, call it, $25,000 to $30,000, so a mere quarter of the original value. It's a 75% off decade-old Audi S8. But what is it like today to drive, to own, and we're going to find out. I'm really excited to spend some time with this S8 along with the owner, Alex, good friend of mine. And I've been a pretty big Audi fan over the years. During this era of Audi, I owned a sibling to this car, the C7.5 2016 RS7. Now, the RS treatment's even more sporty and aggressive, but it's a very similar formula. 4-liter twin-turbo V8, 4-door body style, although the S8 and, of course, the A8, it's still the more executive flagship sedan treatment. But this thing now, over a decade old, over 100,000 miles. What is it like? We're going to find out. So what's under the hood? We have a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. This engine and different versions of it have powered various Audi family vehicles. Here in the regular S8, it makes 520 horsepower and 481 pound-feet of torque. There is a plus version of the S8 where they turned it up a bit to 605 horsepower, essentially matching the RS7 performance. This era of RS7 and RS6 with a version of this 4-liter twin-turbo V8 was making 560 horsepower. Now, this is, of course, quattro all-wheel drive, 8-speed automatic transmission, and Audi said 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, but it was tested a little bit quicker. Call it mid to high 3-second range. Regardless, a big luxury sedan doing 60 in under 4 seconds is definitely impressive. Let's take a quick exterior tour before I grab my friend Alex and we go for a drive. So this is a D4.5 S8. It's the mid-cycle refresh to the D4 generation, and they updated the styling, slight tweaks here and there, including the headlights. So we have the DRL shape around the outer edge there. The pre-refresh headlights have more of kind of a curved, swoopy DRL shape. Down here, those might look like fog lights, but they're actually sensors for your driver assistance tech. And then we have the silver horizontal lines across the Audi S grille, and you still actually have an S badge there. Some of the newer Audi models, including S1s and RS, they don't put the badge in the front grille anymore. So the S models get the horizontal silver lines. When you go to the RS models, that's when you get the black hexagon mesh, although down here there's some of that black hexagon treatment. Now, I think the styling of this is aging very nicely, especially when you go to the mid-cycle update, the lighting and things like that. Keep it looking still a bit more modern despite being a 10-year-old car. We've got the 21-inch 5-spoke wheels, kind of a directional look, and the upgraded S brakes behind. You see the S8 logo there on the calipers. And this one here has the Alu Optics trim. So that means the silver trim around the windows, the mirror caps there. It's actually the same color combination I had on my B8.5 S4, black with the Alu Optics silver trim. And I actually like it a lot here on the S8. It's still a big luxury sedan, right? You kind of want that look. It's got the sleeper executive luxury look, and you're looking at it, you might not know it has a twin turbo V8 under the hood. Coming around to the back, we've got the slightly updated taillight design and, of course, quad exhaust tips. That is the Audi S signature design look. And then we have a little bit of a rear diffuser trim area. On the RS models, you get the big oval exhaust tips, but the S ones get the quad exhaust. Now we have an S8 badge right there. And this is the conventional sedan body style. If you want the wagon, you would go for the RS6 of this generation, although that was not offered here in America for the C7 and C7.5 generation. And then if you want the Sportback roofline, you would go for the RS7. All right, we're now in the car with my good friend Alex at Alex Drive More across all the social platforms.
Yep.
And your Audi S8 2015.
The one and only.
We've actually known each other for a long time. We met like, how many years ago?
It feels like forever ago.
A long time ago, and then we kind of fell out of touch. I moved out of state, and then we were back for we were both on a Porsche event
At a rally,
local Porsche dealer. I'm like, wait, I know you. And I was like, wait, you had that S8, right? Because you've had this thing for a while.
Long time. It's been since December of 2021, so about 4.5 years now.
And this thing has 104,000 miles on it.
Yep, and creeping up.
Yeah, you have driven it, enjoyed it.
Yes.
The first thing I want to get out of the way to talk about, because that's always one of the biggest topics when you get into cars like this, is maintenance, things that break, problems.
Yes.
Give me the rundown.
Oh gosh, so like with any one of these cars, it's really important that you just keep up with like the standard maintenance. When you keep up with the standard maintenance, the car is actually really reliable, which is kind of a misconception that a lot of people have about German cars. It's a German car, it's expensive to maintain, which is true if you just stick to going to the dealer, of course. But if you grow a relationship with an independent shop nearby and you go to FCP Euro to like buy all your stuff, it honestly becomes really, really affordable to keep a car like this. Now, this car is over 10 years old, so things start to kind of break down, you know, gaskets, bushings, and all that stuff. But overall, it's really not giving me a lot of issues. I know the motor mounts are gonna have to be done soon because they're like a hydraulic actuated, you know, bushing or whatever you would want to call it.
Yeah.
And so like those go out over time.
Yeah.
You know, they collapse and whatnot. So that's like basically the most expensive maintenance item.
Okay.
But besides that, brakes I've done them myself. Fluids I've done them myself. I did the trans flush and filter myself. So it's really important to kind of want to get your hands dirty. You know, if you don't want to, you're like
spending lots of money at a shop.
Yeah, definitely. But like indie shops, they help a lot. But still, like an indie shop to do an oil change for this is still about $250.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you haven't had anything big
Yeah.
yet.
Well, dang it. Dang it, Eddie. Don't jinx
No,
me.
but it's been fine.
Yeah, it has been.
100,000 miles.
Yes. Yeah, so I bought the car with 55,000 miles.
Okay.
So the minute I bought it, I'm driving, I'm having a great time, brake wear sensor comes on. So I'm like, oh, gotta do the brakes.
How bad are the brakes on this? How much are they? Because on my RS7, the stupid little scalloped flowery rotors, it was like 5,000 just for parts. And I'm like, and there were no like OEM option or like aftermarket options. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. So with these, now they weren't OEM, but they were OE style.
Okay. Yeah.
From FCP Euro, which again, that's almost going to be the buzzword for this car. But they were $1,600 all in with the
rotors
sensor,
and pads?
Rotors, pads, the whole thing. And it's been 50,000 miles, 55,000 miles, and they're still doing great. I know that they're getting to the point where they're gonna have to be done, especially I drive it a little bit harder than I should. I have some spirited drives, especially on road trips, so you know that kind of wears them down, but overall, it's been really great, especially like I said, I do my own work, so that's really what kind of helps me along.
Dang, because I got scared with my RS7. I refuse to own a car like this out of like CPO or extended warranty.
Yeah.
Right? So the only one that I have done was the R8, the Gen 2, because I was like, that thing is like a tank. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like my RS7, I got real scared. Like I was like, nope, I'm not running the risk because it can be bad. But I'm glad to hear you've had it very, very solid.
Yes.
Because this thing still drives nicely. So let's go ahead and toggle into dynamic. Things are warmed up and ready to go. This interior is like taking me back to this generation, and not a bad thing. I'm not disparaging your car saying it's old. I miss this era of Audi interiors where we have buttons for everything.
Yes, and clicky buttons.
Clicky buttons too, It's not just touch everything. We've got, as an S8, you get the sporty carbon trim all across the dash, and I like it paired with the silver, kind of brushed silver alloy optics interior. Have you seen the ones with the wood trim with the inlaid metal? That's really fancy too. That gets really cool. And you have this one nicely spec'd because we have the upgraded B&O with the tweeters that come up, and that is such a hard thing to find. I remember looking for my RS7. I wanted the tweeters that went up. I didn't want the base Bose system. Banging all of a sudden or nothing. So hard to find that. So to get a car that is option up with that, because it was expensive when new, like $4,000 or $5,000 option, I think. A couple downshifts. Ooh. Yeah, that's quick.
Still puts a smile on my face.
Still quick.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is that a lot of people don't know about these cars is like, like, for example, this car is fully loaded. It was not easy to find a fully loaded S8 because the starting price was already pretty expensive for a car like this. And at that time, it's going up against, for example, like the S63, which inherently looked so much more advanced because they had the whole entire one-screen design.
The double.
And, you know, and you get a little bit more luxury. But as we can see from like time, I mean, it's an 11-year-old car, but it still feels timeless, which is why these are now getting that like, you know, it's not like, oh, it's a BMW and, you know, oh, like, I don't like BMWs. If you don't like Audi, you still love this car.
Oh yeah, you still respect it.
Yeah.
I mean, this, remember the Transporter movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, it's just...
I get the memes all the time.
There's something about these kinds of cars that have, like, a universal appeal.
Yes.
Because it's, as an enthusiast, it's like, well, it's the big floaty land yacht, which is really cool. They're loaded with tech, the pinnacle of what these German manufacturers throw at their cars.
Yes.
But then they're like, oh, let's make a fast version, too.
Yep.
Let's take the twin turbo V8, shove it under the hood, give it some sportiness. Like, this thing still sounds pretty good. It reminds me of my RS7, but even more, like, insulated.
Yeah.
Like, it has that similar vibe of that era. Now, I have an interesting ownership experience because I had a 2016 RS7, and then I had a what year was that? 2021? Yeah, that's still plenty quick and smooth. 2021 regular A8.
Yeah.
So like I kind of bounced around because I've always loved these big flagship executive luxury sedans. When you go to the fast version, they're cool.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely a bit firmer, right? The air suspension is tuned to be a little bit firmer. We're in dynamic. Let's go back into comfort.
Yes.
But then it softens up and it's comfort. You've done road trips in this thing, right? Going down.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Spirited road trips. You know, the whole like cannonball style setup inside. So, you know, with like this car is also just a tiny bit tweaked, right? So I ended up lowering the suspension just a few millimeters with VCDS.
Okay,
and
just
then,
air it out,
yep. And then I added, and everybody asked me what the stance is. It's just 17.5mm spacers all around.
Okay.
It's a square setup, and then it's the stock rotors, the stock 21-inch rotors. So, you know, it really kind of just wraps, this car is, you know, a lot of people say like, you know, it's stock, it's good enough, but truly, they did such a great job with designing this car. You don't even have a lot of aftermarket options for, you know, lips and all this stuff for front end and, you know, rear end diffusers. You really don't. You don't. I mean, people do the Maxton design, which it looks really good. If you're gonna go like, you know, the full shebang, you want to do the fronts, the sides, and the rear, and you know, you want to do a wheel setup. But for me, I really just love that OEM Plus style.
Yes, I
agree. Know, and that's with any one of my cars. That's always been my thing. Is OEM Plus is almost always best, in my opinion.
The thing, I would probably do an exhaust, maybe wheels, but you already lowered it, and it's still comfortable, it still rides well. What am I doing? My massage seats are not.
Come on.
That's, ooh, you got wait, like Wave, these are legit proper massage seats.
Yes.
I did not have those on the RS7.
No.
So, why did you pick this over an S63, over an RS7, one of those other options? What drew you to an S8?
So, a lot of my friends had ticked all the boxes. Okay. You know, one of my friends had an S63, an R7, an F90 M5. I had an F10. I had an F10 M5 prior to this one. So, you know, and then I had a bunch of friends that had Corvettes and all this stuff. So everybody was ticking every single box. And you know, when your friends have something, it's almost, you're also, you know, enjoying it because sometimes you drive it, sometimes you're in it. So I wanted something that was different. But I also started my car journey with an S8. I had a D2 S8 in high school. You know, so it just, and I still remember clear as day, I told my mom, once you get a car like this, you can't go back.
Can't go back.
No, it's really tough because they all are so similar. So you look at the market and you're like, what's out there? Well, you know, at that time I could have spent 55, 60,000 to get an R7, you know, or I could just get an S8. And this was not like, you know, it wasn't, oh, dang, I have to, you know, I'm going to settle for an S8. I truly wanted this car because you get a little bit more than the RS7 in this car. Now, you don't get as much power, but you do get the space. You get a different interior, so it's not the same as the RS6 S6 model. So it just stood out, you know, and the looks for me is just, it just does it for me. The grille's just big enough, and it's, you know, tastefully designed. The headlights, it's just classy. It's timeless, and the other buzzword with this car is timeless.
Yes.
Right. You know, like everything about it was just, it's like they saw the future. They're like, in 20 years, what's going to look, you know, like it's still brand new, like it still could come off the factory floor, and it's this whole package.
I mean, other than the tiny little screen that rotates out, right? That's old Audi MMI, which is fine. It just works. Like everything, you're right. Like we have a dash clock here.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yes.
And like you can press a button and the screen gets out of the way.
Yes.
Right? Like it's so nice. This is aging great. Heated, cooled seats, a button, a spinny dial with little lights that tell you what your temperature, like.
Yes.
I actually really like this interior. You get some of the new Audis, have like the new, I think it was the S5 I was driving. There was like a phone dial pad on the left for like everything. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like, what is going on in this car? And yeah, I agree. This is aging very nicely. Honestly, for a 100,000 mile car, this thing still feels so solid.
Yes.
I don't hear any weird creaks or like squeaks and rattles.
Yes.
It's bank vault quiet still. These massage seats are very nice.
Yeah.
Man, this is still probably...
Makes you want to buy one, right?
Oh, man, yeah, that's a problem. It's been a while since I had a fast Audi in my garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, after driving the new RS6 Performance, I was like, oh, but that was 140 grand. I'm like, ooh, but also, ouch.
Yeah, see, now that's the thing, right? The market for like the S8, the RS7, and the S6, in my opinion, it's at almost like that sweet spot where now you have people that if they want to spend a little bit of money and get that low mileage, really clean example, there's some of those out there, but there's also the higher mileage. Maybe you want to get your hands dirty, you want to maintain it yourself, you want to fix it up, you want to do that. You have those options. That the market has now reached that point where everybody can, you know, get a taste for these cars, because before you had to spend, you know, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 to get this car. But now it's reached that point. Even this car, just as it sits, can go from anywhere between 25 to 30,000. That's, I mean, show me another car that's like this that you can get for that amount of money.
I mean, if you're shopping brand new, it's a Nissan Sentra.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, Sentra or S8?
But here's what I always tell people when we're doing a car like this, a video on a car like this. Yeah, you're buying it for $25,000, $30,000, but what was the original MSRP on this one?
This exact one was $137,000.
Holy crap. That was even, my RS7 was $130,000, so this is even higher sticker. So you're buying a $130,000 car's parts, maintenance, maintenance schedule, components, all of that kind of stuff. So I implore you, ooh, look at that Revuelto, dang. If you're buying a car like this for $25,000, $30,000, set aside, I would probably do 10 to 15,000, depending on your
sweet spot.
Make sure you have it ready, because the worst thing that could happen is you buy it, all of a sudden you can't drive your car because it needs motor mounts, right? And it's a couple $1,000s, something like that. So if you can do that, it gives you peace of mind. I feel like once you get to this mileage and age, some of those extended warranties probably aren't even valid anymore. Like I don't think those companies are willing to offer them. So to use another YouTube Tavarish's phrase, he is the warranty, right? You got to be willing to either find a good shop, find a shop, or do the work yourself. The other upside is once the cars get to this kind of age, usually the preventative maintenance, the problems, aftermarket options are out there on the forums or in the Facebook groups. That knowledge is there because so many enthusiasts, you're on your second, third, sometimes fourth owner for these cars at this point, at the price point that they are at. But man, this has been such a fun trip down memory lane. Thank you, Alex. We've been meaning to do this for a while. Let's talk a bit more about some of the dynamics driving experience kind of stuff. It is what you expect. It's a big, heavier feeling, floaty sedan, but just like the S63 AMG, they sharpen it a tad, right? We're in comfort mode right now, and I would still happily road trip this thing across the country. It is just as quiet as a new A8, I think, which is saying a lot because those things are still like whisper silent, and it still imparts the whole, you arrive at your destination more relaxed than you left. That's what I love about these kind of executive luxury sedans.
That's, oh yeah. I'm telling you,
still
man,
good.
It's still good.
ZF 8-speed auto was good. Like, it's also funny because I could hear some burbles in the engine noise, but it sounds like it's like 3 blocks behind us.
You're like, whose car is that? Is that this? And that's another thing about this car. It's like you said, you feel more comfortable when you arrive. You just feel so unbothered. Like, I'll be on the, you know, passing lane and, you know, doing a considerable amount of speeds and horse, you know, miles per hour, and, you know, you get passed by somebody or somebody cuts you off and you're like, whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Back to
continue my massage.
Yeah,
you know,
next song of the Bang & Olufsen sound system.
Yes. So it really delivers a truly, interesting experience because as you can see, like you can really feel there is a difference between comfort and dynamic. There's a noticeable difference, and it's not just because the air suspension. Well, it does a lot of the heavy lifting, right? Because it really does change the dynamic, but it's also everything about this car. Like, just look at that. It's perfection. Yes.
Yeah, that's still nice.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go back into comfort.
And it's just flick of the button, right?
Yeah.
You just go boom, boom. You need to pass by somebody, you just hit the shifter down and you're in sport
and go.
immediately.
Actually, we've got a little curvy little stint over here. Let's see
Sharing
what.
crowd.
Yeah, you know. We've been off Woodward. We always just end up driving here because Michigan roads kind of suck, so nothing great.
Unless you go to hell, Michigan.
Yes. This is still like one of those big sweepers kind of car, right?
Yes.
Like it's not meant to be a canyon carver per se.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How has this been in the winter?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah. Always, with a car like this, it really pays to have a dedicated snow tire setup.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And a lot of people argue, right? Like you don't need it. You can do all seasons. It's just it's a luxury sedan. Yeah, it goes a little bit quicker, but the tires really make a huge difference, especially when you have a car like this. It's heavier. It has that 50/50 all-wheel drive system. So you want to actually utilize that with the snow tire setup so that you can actually slow down properly. You can drive. How many times I've done above, well, not above the speed limit, but considerable
we
amounts.
never do that.
No, absolutely not. I go the recommended amount of speed.
Yes.
But in the winter, you get those days where it's like it's heavy snow, and you get the pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Like my Raptor, I'll be doing 65, and then the S8 could be doing 70.
Yep. Or more.
Honestly,
yeah. So I love saying all-wheel drive with the wrong tires is all-wheel spin. It doesn't matter, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if it's quattro. If you got all seasons, and all seasons are kind of no seasons, right? They're compromised in summer, compromised in winter. Ideally, you get the best set of winter and best set of summer tires. When I had the first time I put Soto Zeros on my S4, I was like, please no. I want to go have fun because oh my gosh, the level of control. So like one of these things with a proper set of winter tires, ultimate all year round daily.
Yes.
Man, this is
like I jumped the gun and I put the summer tires on a little bit too quick, but now the weather's turning around, and again it just gives it just a little bit of edge. If you're going to be on all seasons, you're not going to feel more confident even if you want to take the on-ramp a little bit quicker.
Yep.
It's a big body sedan, but you have the option to do that.
Man, all the tactile inputs, the feeling, just a turn signal, pressing buttons, controls. I think I like this interior generation more than my newer A8 that I had, right?
Really?
I mean, the new A8, like the MMI is fancier.
Yes.
Right? Like, and that was definitely nicer, but in terms of the material quality and touch points and things like that, like the leather and how things are holding up.
Yeah.
Suede headliner, like this is still very, very nice.
Yeah.
What we should do is do a comparison with, my friend just bought a new S8 with the executive second row package, the 4-seat configuration. Yeah. That would be cool, like a decade difference, right?
Yes.
We should do a comparison video of those two and try it out. But
yeah, I mean, I will say this about the new generation. I think that the new generation is also aging really well because the era that era of German cars, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody, and I feel like this is just German cars in general, anytime they come out with a new iteration of their models, they're always going a step beyond because they're trying to really aggressively push new technology and new limits to where that they can push, right? So the A8s and the S8s of the D5 era, in my opinion, they weren't. The technology was the forethought, and the design was the afterthought. I think that with this car, the forethought was the design. They really knew where they wanted to go. They wanted to focus everything around the driver and give them a tactile feel, and that's basically your car.
Hello, Z06.
And so, like, with that car, it's, hey, we need all these things in the interior.
Yeah.
Now, how can we fit that together?
Yeah.
So I think that's where the disconnect is, right, between the two different cars, because now we're at the point where a lot of people are preferring the D4 over the D5 because the design, the analog and all the design.
One final good question for you.
Okay.
D4.5 S8 that you own now,
Okay.
or a W12?
Oh,
Obviously you've kept this one and had this one.
yeah.
But
Is the W12 a facelift?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, W12.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
because
the one that you-
I'll just replace the front bumper. OEM Plus, come on.
I did get to drive a W12. And, I think it was
Ooh.
I think it was a regular D4.
Okay.
But man, there was still something pretty nice about that,
Yeah.
right? Like it just.
Yes.
It was. I think it was like a whole like saddled brown tan interior, executive second row. I'm like, man, this is like it was like an Audi Bentley.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yes. Exactly. And I mean, the V12 and now
W12, yeah.
or the W12s and the V12s, any
Okay.
12 cylinder in general. I've honestly grown such an affection for them because they truly deliver such a unique experience
Yeah.
with the power delivery.
Yep.
And it's like it swooshes you. It just like sucks you into speed.
A wave of torque.
Yes.
You just ride it. A
Yes.
Rolls-Royce, Bentley, they're a different level.
Yes.
But in the realm of honestly spending $30,000, $25,000 to $30,000, set aside your money.
Yes.
One of these things
Yes.
is so cool. I did the RS7, and I remember one of the biggest reasons I ended up getting rid of it was I missed having a sports car and a daily.
Yeah.
So the R7 is great because it's all-in-one, and this is more closer to that all-in-one where I can't have both a Z06, like the one sitting right next to us, or an R8 and a practical daily driver. So you do an all-in-one combo, but then it ends
Yep.
up being jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes.
The R7 is never going to drive as well as a dedicated sports car, E92 M3,
Right.
and that, whatever, right?
Yep.
And it's never going to be as comfortable as A8 or an S-Class. This here gives you a bit of that RS7 sportiness with the twin turbo V8, but it still obviously is an A8, so it trends
Yes.
closer to the A8 comfort. RS7 with air suspension, yeah, definitely more comfortable. On those 21-inch wheels, man, dude, it was still way more sporty.
Yeah.
This still gives you enough of the executive luxury sedan experience that I like, and
Yes.
that's why I'm drawn to these kinds of vehicles and experiences.
Yes.
So yeah, big fan of this thing. Always love these things. I guess I've sort of owned this because I had an A8L and a RS7, and you combine them.
Yeah, so combine the experience,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess. Now, I will say the grass is not always greener on the other side. A lot of people, they really love these cars, but there are a few things that I don't particularly love
that's
about
a good
them.
question. I always ask somebody,
Yes.
what do you hate
Yes.
about your car?
Yes, so the first thing, spongy brakes.
Yeah,
Yep,
the brake
the brake-
pedal feel is not as...
It's not as engaging as you would like it, and I
Yeah.
feel like they should have done it where the dynamic engages a tighter braking feel,
Okay.
especially like when you're trying to be a little bit more spirited.
Yeah, yeah.
The body roll is there. This car it does a really good job of hiding a lot of it, but I would say about 50% of it because it's still a heavier car.
Yeah.
But the spacers help a little bit because it widens the stance out, but it
Okay.
still doesn't replace having wider
Exactly.
wheels and all that
Tires,
stuff.
yep.
And the biggest thing that I dislike is the mindset that it's put me in, right? Like you said, it's so hard to justify getting another car because this kind of, it blends it so well. Where like you're like, okay, do I need a sports car? But I have the S8.
Yeah.
Do I need a comfy car? But I have the S8. So it kind of removes the need
Yeah.
of having a second car. And that's my biggest problem because I want a second car.
But you're just like, well, I
But
can
I'm just
take
like,
the
I
S8,
just,
right?
just take the S8. And especially in comparison to the Raptor, this is a sports car.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
This
you're
is-
in a dynamic race car
Yes.
compared to a F-150 Raptor.
Yeah.
I just randomly ended up on the freeway. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Hello,
doesn't matter.
freeway.
I'm the S8.
Well, this is where it
Massage
feels most
seats.
at home.
This is what this car is designed for.
Yes.
Cruising on the Autobahn at 155 miles an hour for as long as you
Yes.
want until you need to refuel it
On the
and
Autobahn.
then go. Oh, no, of course not here.
Not a
Yeah.
U.S. interstate.
Sadly, we don't have an Autobahn
absolutely
here,
not. Absolutely not.
yeah, these things just eat the miles. But
Yeah.
all your complaints right there, you buy an RS7 or
Oh boy.
S8 Plus.
And here's where lies my problem. Because I'm getting another car for a new project car for the channel and for the community, but I can't get rid of the S8. I won't do that. I already did April Fools. People were not particularly happy. But as soon as the follow-up video posted where I was like, April Fools, they're like, oh, thank God.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm like,
even you posted, I was like, I actually texted you. I was
Yeah,
like,
you-
no way, right? Although I don't
I
check
got
the data.
everybody with
Yeah,
that. I got
everybody. But S8 Plus does exist.
Yes.
They match the RS7 performance in terms of power, 605
Yes.
horsepower, a little bit firmer, right? A couple other little, I think you do carbon ceramic brakes on those too.
Yeah,
if I recall
yep.
correctly. Yeah. So a little bit more aggressive, and that does exist if you want to step up a tier. But
Yes.
for a 10-year-old car,
Yeah.
with over 100,000 miles on it,
Yeah.
this thing has felt like a bank vault, still in fantastic condition.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, little things here and there, like your trunk, your power trunk motor thing is.
Sometimes it want to work.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes
I pressed the
you know.
button and I stood back and it's just like, oh, it doesn't actually want to go up. You heard it
Yeah.
trying, right? But I mean, it's 10-year-old 100,000 mile car.
What do you expect from a car like this? You know?
Yeah, like,
But I will say this. Now, I got in at like that perfect time where the price was just right for this car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in 2021, the prices had just gone up, but they really didn't reach the peak of where the used car market was during that time. But I got it as a one-owner car, so I am the
that's
second
good.
owner. So
Yeah.
luckily, I got it at that good time because now, you know, when you're paying $25,000 or
Yeah.
you know $22,000
could
for a
be the
car
fifth
like this, yeah, you're the fifth owner. Now, who knows what those four other owners
Exactly.
did? You know,
Yeah.
so I had that peace of mind, right? So unfortunately, people don't have that, and that guy just rode the curb.
Did he just curb his wheels?
He did.
Well, how much did you buy this for?
I bought this car for $46,000 from Syed.
46 grand. So call it, if you were to sell it for, we'll pick the middle between 25. Well, let's just say 26 grand.
Yeah.
20,000 miles, 5 years, 50 something thousand miles driven.
Yeah.
Not bad, right? You've done
Not
a lot
bad,
of DIY maintenance, so if you have to go to a shop, you may have spent a good amount more, but
Yes.
I do that.
Yeah.
I would do that 100%.
Yeah.
You find the right car. You got to be even more careful if you're buying something like this in today's day and age. So make sure you go
Yes.
get a pre-purchase inspection. Make sure you get all the maintenance records. Don't buy the car that has 17 different owners that was used as a rental in a
Yes.
fleet vehicle or whatever, right?
Yes.
I would not recommend that.
Especially
but-
my Balkan friends, okay? I know you guys want to do it. I know you got, but that music, the Balkan music is going to play and you're going to regret it.
Yeah, Albanians and their big German luxury cars, they just love
We
them.
love them. We love them. They're just so good.
It's like my people in RAV4s, right? Although I drive a Corvette. So.
Hey, RAV4.
Hello, RAV4. I had one final thought to say. The other thing is like, you're gonna. This is, let's just say, I think this is the $35,000 to $40,000 car. You buy it for 30 grand, you might put 5 to 10K into it. If
Yeah.
you buy one for 20 grand, you're gonna end up putting 20 grand into it. Eventually, you're gonna end up
100%.
at that $35,000, $40,000 car. But for the money, what you're getting, I still think it's pretty cool. I would rather own a used higher-end car with all the features, bells and whistles, the tech, the luxury, than a loaded, cheap new car.
I
Right?
completely
Like, I would
agree,
just
yeah.
rather, like, we've got night vision, we've got massage seats, we've got a banging Olufsen sound system, we've got suede headliner, leather, 500 plus horsepower twin turbo V8 under the hood, right? Okay, 100,000
Yep.
miles, plan for things to go and have to do brakes and whatever, but I would still rather be driving this thing than whatever mid-sized family crossover for this kind of
Yes,
money.
I completely
But we're
agree.
enthusiasts and this is what we sign up for. But
Yeah, exactly.
this was fun. This was so much fun. Thank you, Alex, at Alex Drives More
Absolutely.
across
Yes.
all different platforms, TikTok,
Yes.
the Instagram.
Except for YouTube. YouTube is just Drive More.
Oh, did somebody else have the platform, the name?
No, I was like, I want to focus on branding on YouTube.
There you go.
Well, you know, we'll see how it goes.
I'll link him below. Check him out. He does fun little ASMR and coffee runs with
Yep.
lots of really cool cars. There's
Yes, including the S8. The S8 always
the
makes
feature.
an appearance.
You
Yeah.
can't sell this car.
No.
Don't make my mistake. I sold my
No.
350R, the Shelby,
Oh.
and I regret it every single day. So I
Yeah.
need to buy one of those again. That was a.
Well, I regret not buying one when I had the chance.
Yeah, well, I think it's worse that you never. It's worse that I bought one and then sold it. You never even bought it, so
true.
you didn't
That's
make the
true.
mistake. You were an
That is
idiot
true.
and sold it, right?
Yeah.
I'm the idiot that sold the car. So if you sell this, you probably regret it. Just keep it.
I agree. I'm skipping all that. I'm just gonna
don't
keep
even,
it.
don't even.
Yeah.
Learn from me. Learn from the mistakes. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. A lot of fun getting to go down memory lane and drive a D4.5 S8 with over 100,000 miles.
Yes.
Genuinely impressive. Last final caveat is I'm a bit of an Audi fan, right? Like, we're both Audi fans.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I've had so many. And
The
it just-
BMW Mercedes guy, he's gonna be like, nah, it's still
I don't
crap.
know,
I
that
don't like
63 is
it.
better. Yeah, I'd buy a 7 Series. I mean, they're all really, really cool for the money. You have your preferences with the different options there. It's like people with Raptor Rs and TRXs arguing in the comments, right?
Yes.
Right, but ultimately,
Yes.
awesome vehicle. Such an awesome vehicle. You can feel the engineering. It's lasting the test of time. Ton of fun. Thanks again, Alex.
Of course.
Hope you guys enjoyed
At
watching.
least I could do.
See you guys next video.